Welcome to the Fantasy Throwdown Podcast, bringing you the latest updates from the world of sports, gambling, and pop culture. Because you can't have a show without hot takes or a Tiger King meme these days. Know what I'm saying? Now, with over 200 episodes and ready to get after it again, here's your host, Dwayne Callender.
Okay, folks, we're going to make this one short and sweet because we have NBA basketball, but also the British Open. So I'm doing double duty tonight, getting my takes on Game 4 of the NBA Finals, and also going to record an episode because the British Open's teeing off later past midnight. About 1:30 in the morning, but going to give my final thoughts on the British Open and plays for the DFS slate, and it's the last major of the year for golf, so I'm going to give my thoughts on the matter and try to be as concise as possible, because I always play a tight player pool, by and large for majors. That's just my deal, and it's over 150 players, so yeah, I'll be whittling that down to somewhere in the low 30 range. But without much further ado, let's talk about Game 4 tonight. You know, a lot of people are talking about the Bucks winning in Game 3, and it was a must-win game. If the Bucks don't win Game 3, they get swept tonight. That's the bottom line. So, for everyone saying how close this series might become, I don't see it. The Bucks played with as much emotion and passion as they're ever going to play in this series, barring a Game 7. The Suns, realizing that they got 2 games here in Milwaukee, and they only need to take 1 so they can close it out in Game 5, they kind of acquiesced, and you saw them take their foot off the gas pedal, and, try to make their little runs here and there, but, they didn't put in a max effort, in my opinion, defensively, to get back in that game. I think that changes tonight. Game 4, I think Giannis is going to do everything humanly possible, and he has been amazing this series. It's one of the credits of being young. You can recover from a serious knee injury, and everyone just be amazed at how you recovered. Basically, he's a freak of nature, and he's young. That's the only rationale you can give for Giannis being able to perform at the level he's been able to perform at in this series, given how serious that hyperextension was, and that it was possible he could have blown out his knee, and we would have written him off completely for this finals. The fact that he's played every game this series and has been as dominant as he has been is a testament to him. But here's what the Suns are going to do. They're going to let Giannis get his and shut down everybody else. Everybody else on that team, the Drew Holidays, the Chris Middletons of the world. I mean, Chris Middleton didn't even have a great game 3. It was a lot of Drew Holiday. But I think they're going to put in more effort on shutting down Holiday. They'll let Giannis get his. They're just not going to let anybody else beat them. So to me, this is a very simple DFS slate, in my opinion. You're going to play Giannis. And you're going to play, basically, in my opinion, the lineup should be, we play Giannis and nobody else on the Bucks. I mean, I think this is going to be a Suns game that they win by double digits. And I could be wrong by that. I could be wrong, and maybe you got a Drew Holiday or Chris Middleton that scores enough to keep this game close. It's certainly possible. But my main build for DraftKings, and I'll be trying to do the same thing on FanDuel, and I think the pricing, the way it works out, is going to be easy on both sites. But I'm going to be playing a combination of DeAndre Ayton or Chris Paul. Devin Booker seems to be a little bit too expensive to play in the captain on DraftKings to fit in all 3. And to be perfectly frank, if you absolutely feel the need to play one other Buck, the only other guy that there are 2 guys. But the 2 guys I would suggest and it's people you probably wouldn't want to play, but to me, the 2 other pieces in a Bucks blowout loss that you would play would be a PJ Tucker and a Pat Connaughton. Because those guys are still going to get minutes with the reserve unit. They're not going to waste Giannis's energy if that game gets out of reach. And they know they don't want Giannis to go too far overboard in the matchup. So, to me, on DraftKings, you got PJ Tucker at 3,400, Pat Connaughton at 4,200. I would take the less money with PJ Tucker at 3,400 because most people are going to try to max out salary regardless by playing Pat Connaughton. But to me, the medium between those two that you would play, and my opinion is the way you deviate is by looking at a Cam Johnson. So I basically gave away my entire lineup, but that's, I didn't give away everything, but I basically filled in all the blanks for you pretty much. It's not that hard to figure the rest out. But that's the way I'm approaching this slate. Because to me, I just don't think that I don't think the Bucks have much of an answer for tonight. I really don't see it. So I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I really don't think I am. I think you're going to get better performances out of the Bucks bench. I mean, the Suns bench. So you probably see some minutes out of Kaminsky and Torrey Craig that aren't 0 points in the X number of minutes. So I actually think they're going to be somewhat productive. And, we got to go from there. But to me, I don't see a great day in the office for Middleton and Drew Holiday. They had one good game. One good game from Drew Holiday. Middleton, I mean, I guess you could say he had a good game too. I'll be honest. I don't see it. I really don't see it. I think the Suns basically have figured out this Bucks team and, did not go all in last game because, realistically, they only needed to take one of them. I really think it's just that simple. So, not gonna overthink it. I'm gonna take the Suns blowout script and kind of work my way from there. But not gonna stress out over this one because to me, I think it's a pretty straightforward script. To be perfectly honest with all of you, so. That's my thoughts on Game 4. I'm going to be finalizing lineups and getting this brief episode uploaded just so all of you can finish making your adjustments to lineups because I know we're going to be approaching lock soon enough. So, we'll go from there. And, best of luck to everyone. And, hopefully see you guys at the top of DraftKings and FanDuel. But to me, I think you kind of have to look at this from the standpoint of, actually, I should say one thing for FanDuel. You can look at Giannis as the MVP. My only thing is, just from the standpoint of, you just have to understand Giannis is not going to play that much in the fourth quarter in the blowout script. So at the end of the day, it still makes more sense to align with your script that you stick with having a Suns player in the MVP spot. But I don't necessarily disagree with having Giannis in the MVP spot, and then you take either DeAndre Ayton or Chris Paul because, like I said, salary wise, Booker is just a little bit too pricey to make it work on FanDuel to fit in all three. But you can do it on DK. You can definitely do it on DK. But you gotta commit to the blowout script. So I'll leave it at that. Hopefully you guys understand everything that I'm laying out for you. But I think I made it very straightforward that, despite the spread showing Bucks -4.5, I just think that's listen, everyone thinks the Bucks are going to win this game, and I just don't see it. I think the Suns win this one handedly. and that's the other way I would bet it. I take the Suns as the dog, and the outright money line plus 175, and go from there. I just think the Suns win this one. It's that clear to me. I'll leave things off there, get this uploaded, and best of luck to everyone. And going to be working on some British Open items in a bit later during the game, so stay tuned, and best of luck to everyone. Have a good one.
Thanks for listening to the Fantasy Throwdown Podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and all other major outlets.